So in this video, I want to talk about two things, and they're actually related. First, putting your ethical values before your selfish desire, or repressing yourself so that you can live up to the standards, moral standards set by someone else, like your teacher or your parents, is a slave mentality. And I'm going to tell you why. This is because when you fail, if you are somebody who was just focusing on your own needs, selfish desire, you'll have to deal with everything. It's going to be your responsibility. And it's going to hurt. Whereas if not, if you are the kind of person who values on being righteous more than fulfilling your own needs or desire, you can always put the blame on someone else. You can always point your fingers to the world, saying how corrupt it is. It's not really your fault. Okay? You'll always have an excuse. Just think about it. I mean, for anyone who thinks he is so fucking right, he's so fucking righteous, thinks so specially of himself because he's so righteous. I might sound like an asshole, but I only represent a vast majority of humans. Okay? There are people who do not belong to this category, but most people are selfish enough to be this way. Okay? Let me put it this way. If you are the type of person who is not going to be bitter after you fail because you could not put all your energy, on your time, everything on meeting your goal, achieving you wanted to achieve, if you're not bitter about that because you had these ethical values, if you are going to be perfectly okay accepting the result, like fully accepting the result, congratulations, you're one of those special persons, okay? But if not, you have been living a lie. You have been living a lie. You have been living your life believing in a lie told by someone else. And if you're not in your 60s or 70s, if you're more like in your 30s or even 40s, you should be thankful. You should be glad that you can put this in perspective. Because by the time you become, after your retirement, by the time you reach that kind of age, it's not going to be, accepting this will mean you have lived your life in a wrong way. You may have worked really hard to be also, to be good at what you do, also to be a morally good person, but it's a little late. I mean, if you still have a gut to accept it, like 70, it's like my dad, he's 71 years old and he's so fucking blue-pilled. Try to wake him up, but it's not working. He doesn't listen because otherwise that means he's been making wrong choices. He worked hard for nothing, okay? So he's afraid of accepting it. Accepting the fact that he has been blue-pilled and he should have been more honest with himself, and him trying to be good is actually a way to give him an excuse. Let me give an example. Let's say you have a crush on a girl. Not even that. Okay, you need to make a decision, right? You wanted to make money, so you want to start a business. There's this great opportunity, great chance for you to start a business. If you are that type of person who is just going to be after your own self-desire, self-interest, you can just jumpstart. You don't have to think about anything else, right? But whereas, if you're the type of person who thinks being morally good, like being good, meeting the standards, ethical standards, is more important, or at least equally important as or than achieving the worldly success, then you'll have to hesitate. You have to just you have to think at least twice as much. There are so many things to consider. You'll have to hesitate. You'll be reluctant, so you might miss timing. You might also spend your energy on other things too, while the other guy, the first guy, will spend all his time and energy on making things happen. Okay, now, I'm going to talk about this. People who've had a lot of sex partners, a lot of sex before marriage, are likely to have a miserable marriage, okay? So let me put it this way. Well, first of all, your brain works really simple. The way your brain works is very simple. Your brain is not that complicated. You can Google this, you can search for this information on YouTube. I'm not going to go over this. Marriage is earning a right to have sex with your spouse for the rest of your life, okay? I know a lot of people will say, oh, there's more than that. There's more than sex in marriage. Okay, well, you're right. There's a lot of noble things, right? But like I said, we're not going to get motivated by these sophisticated things, right? I mean, what's going to motivate you better than sex, right? Let's just be open, honest, and frank about our human nature, about ourselves. If you're comfortable, if you're too PC kind of person, you can just stop the video here. It's gonna only get worse for you from now on. Yeah. So what happens is, before marriage, to earn sex, to earn the reward, you didn't have to work as much. But after marriage, now you have a family. You have so many obligations, so many responsibilities, and your reward is the same, sex. And a lot of times, if you had a lot of sex partners, chances are your wife or your husband probably not going to be the best sex partner. You'll think about your past sex partners, boyfriends, girlfriends. I'm not saying you will miss them, but your brain remembers that earning a lot better reward. Although you didn't have to carry out as much responsibility, you didn't have to do as much, you didn't have to work as much, as hard, because you're not in marriage. But now you're married, you'll have to do so much more, but you get just average, like mild, plain sex. Whereas there's something much better out there, a lot greater pleasure out there. You've experienced it. And this is why a lot of people who've had a lot of sex partners are going to have a miserable marriage, not very happy marriage, okay? So these two things, the first point and the second point, with those in mind, kept in mind, it seems that probably, arguably, the best choice you can make is don't have premarital sex. Live transparently. You know what I mean? If you accept that, you are selfish, and other people are selfish too, right? And we're in this game together. This sort of a league, whatever, matching game, whatever. Everyone's going to put his or her own interest first. Okay, you're not going to be like, I'm so nice, so I'll marry a whore. Or I'll marry somebody who has so much luggage. No one's going to do that. Well, there are people, I know in reality there are people who are like that, right? But I'm just saying, you're not going to make that kind of choice. Your spouse, your potential spouse, potential partner, potential wife or husband, probably not going to be that way either, right? Probably going to be another selfish person like you, okay? So the wisest way, if you want to have a simple and happy marriage, work hard, don't go to party too much, try to do best in school, try to get a really good job after college, and find someone before people get too damaged, people reach like 30s and 40s, find someone who's innocence in heart to actually love somebody, without thinking of these conditions, the reality, marry someone, fall in love, and have a kid when you're still young. And if you're a woman, your husband, chances are probably have a really good job. So you can decide you're going to raise the child, or you will work, you will have your career, right? You can make a choice there. Doesn't sound like a bad life. And I'm sure, of course, there are people who are going to be like, well, I like sex too much, or I think that's just too harsh. How can you just have so little fun? Because sex is a lot of fun. That's good too. I mean, if you want to, have fun and you want to have a lot of sex partners or boyfriends or girlfriends, you want to have a lot of experiences so you can learn about yourself, that's fine too. But nothing comes for free. Well, chances are you're probably going to run into a spouse, a partner whose life experiences have been similar to yours too. Your life could be not as stable as the guy I was talking about, because you've took risks, you took chances, you've done some silly things, right? You've had your fun, and your spouse could just be like, as long as you know what to expect, okay? I think this is fine. But what fucking bothers me is that people a lot of women in my country, their desire, when they reach 30 or something, right? What they look for is a man who is well off, well established, and still has this naive heart, who's still innocent enough to love them, while the woman is being so fucking calculative. What does frustrate me the most is that they don't accept the fact that men can also have these contrasting ideas too, contrasting ideals. Yeah, so like it's okay for women to have all this desires and looking for a man with such like contrasting qualities. Well, then you should also expect men to have such contrasting, ironic or hypocritical, whatever, wish list. I myself had a lot of sex partners in the past, and I don't think there's anything wrong with living a single, not marrying somebody. That's fine, because I am doing that too. But I'm saying that you should be fair. You should be fucking fair. You can just be like, you can just fuck around and just, when you're young, and just party. And then like at a certain age, you change yourself, change like everything on the surface, so you can find the best spouse you can. I wonder what kind of children you'll have. Your children will be so fucking miserable if you had made this kind of choices. That's about it, and that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm just being realistic. I'm just being frank. Let's just be honest. That's what I'm saying. Let's be honest. Let's stop lying to each other. Let's stop lying to oneself, yourself. Sure, past is the past. I know some people say that past is past. That's fine. But it's like a bank, right? You cannot spend everything on your credit card and you can't just go to bank. Hey, past is the past. Can I just start brand new? No. That's not how the society works. If the society works like that, it's going to get destroyed. People who've saved, worked hard, saved money, should have a lot of money in the bank account. Should have a lot more than those who have only just spent money, not working hard, just spending for their pleasure. It's convenient for some people to say past the past. Sure, it is. But the account in a bank called your life will still show what kind of life you have lived. Even if you hide these things, like a lot of people in my country, they're so fucking good at hiding and wearing masks, right? Not long after they marry, not long after their wedding, not long after their first year, second year in a marriage, these things start getting revealed. A lot of people just have miserable marriage. They don't talk to each other. They just live together physically because of kid, whatever. It's so fucking unfair for the kid. And 40% of Koreans in marriage have had extramarital sex. Okay? Hey, that's exactly what happens when a lot of people live this way, without transparency. Let's be honest, let's be frank, let's be straightforward. Stop lying to one another, let's stop lying to yourself. It's going to hurt a lot of people in the end. Okay? Anyway, well, thanks for watching. Like this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and leave a comment too if you want to. Bye-bye.